So like, I moved the last couple months to Burbank, and
it's taken me months to do this.
It's like yeah,
that's moving.
Yeah, it's a shift. Like you just genuinely change the transparency filter on yourself, and then you fade away, and then suddenly you reappear in the next.
The tectonic plates of your life must rub together and disturb everything around them. Yes.
Yeah, you just slowly shift and move, and there's like several nights, usually on a Thursday or Friday. I don't know what to call that horn other than like the Mexican car horn. Like, what did you call the?
I know exactly what horn you're talking about.
The La Cucaracha horn.
Cucaracha
horn. It is
horn.
the cucaracha. Yeah, it's the cucaracha, and it's you hear it all the time in LA, particularly for sure. I'm sure it's in most cities, but
cool.
Every now and then, it's real rare out here, but you'll get a cucaracha every now and then.
A lot of food trucks out here, I've noticed, have them. A lot of like, hey, if they pull up to a construction site, they'll blast that to let the workers know.
It's only goofballs on the East Coast that have it.
Oh, see here it's more of a herald. Be aware of
food has arrived.
Exactly.
The feast is in order.
It should just be the trumpets from a kingdom, but it's La Cucaracha.
I don't know if any masshole would ever sacrifice a blaring loud horn in favor of something that sounds as joyful as La Cucaracha.
Yeah, it's also I've never heard one that's like painfully loud. It's always like, oh, what a nice little jingle just going on this distance. Yeah.
You just made me think, because you said like a painful one. I want to get one that sounds like the funeral dirge.
How have they not worked that into a bad Addams Family joke at some point?
Why isn't Gomez's car? Why isn't that Gomez's horn?
That should be Gomez's horn. I mean, actually, it's pretty good because Addams Family jokes are pretty solid.
That's a long one, though. You got to sit through the whole damn thing before you get like the point.
See, I'd pitch it's like to make the joke even less palpable. It's somehow like in the court of the Crimson King. It's just like a 2-minute long car horn.
Oh wait, that's in the Hall of the Mountain King.
That's also
that's
even doper. That's a great one.
That's when you're sneaking around and honking at people.
Yeah, I got this car horn. It's the entire Misty Mountain sung by the dwarves.
It has all the harmonies and stuff too.
That means that's such a dope car horn. So we've been hearing one kind of the same time every night, and but like look out the window, and we'd see a truck parked, but like no markings. It's definitely didn't seem like a food truck. There'd always be like one person just kind of standing outside, and like we're just like, what's that about? What's that? Because it was like 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, it was like a little late. She's like, is this like a secret? Is like a secret hookup thing? Also, it wouldn't be secret if you're blasting the car.
Cucaracha, yeah.
And then finally last night, I was like, I'm gonna go out there and see what it is. Put my mask on, put my sandals, and walked down my PJs. Went down the street. It's just a guy just selling fruit. But just like a whole grocery store. He has like a whole unmarked truck, and like he doesn't have any menus or anything. He was just kind of like sitting there in the seat, and he's like, "Yeah, what do you want?" I'm like, "What do you have?" And he just started listing off all food items.
Did he give you the fruit with the chili powder on it?
Oh no, but we love getting those out here.
Oh,
they're so
I know.
fucking
Like
good.
every time I'm there, I'm like, I got to get the chili powder fruit.
We unfortunately have not done that as much with the quarantine because it's just like. Trying to keep that distance makes it a little harder at those food trucks.
I can't believe you just got a mobile bodega. Just like
that's all it was. It was a mobile bodega. Like he just had like lines of like Takis and Cheetos and snacks and all that stuff. And I'm like, and I was put on the spot like I don't know. Do you have any mangoes? He's like, yeah, we have mangoes. Like, duh. And he was nice about it.
Of course.
And I just like I just like walked back into my house like a block across the street. With a big bag of like the biggest mangoes I've ever fucking gotten for like $2.
Well, it's nice to know you live in heaven now, Chad.
Yeah, I have a magical like fruit man that just like will randomly announce his arrival at the times where I'm probably most likely to be stoned.
With
and going,
the
like,
fruit bat signal.
I'll eat a fucking mango right now. Like it's great. I'm so stoked.
Next time you go to the mobile bodega, I need you to offer this one bit of punch up. The
Bodega. Yeah.
This one bit of punch up for him, which is get the horn to play Mambo number 5.
Oh my god. Mango number 5.
Lou Bega's mobile bodega.
Oh my god.
It could have been Captain Lou Bega at the wheel. We don't know what happened to him. And he's like, I got mangoes, grapes. I can't think of any other fruits for the joke tour. Catherine. Sharon. Oh, wait, no, are you selling people here? Oh, this is a different type of truck.
Lou Bega, what have you done? And he just laughs and pulls away.
What a dark, evil Lou Bega, Jesus.
He trapped those girls in the fruit.
He's got little female homunculi in the fruit.
Somebody trembling, holding a pear. Catherine?
It's like a David Lynch mouth just appears at the side of one of the fruits. I knew you in childhood.
Lou Bega's mobile bodega.
Hey Kevin, thanks for joining us for this Goosebuds, by the way. Welcome to Goosebuds.
Oh, welcome to Goosebuds.
Hey, thanks for having me on this episode of Goosebuds.
Where if you don't somehow recognize the lovely tone of Kevin Cole, this is our beloved editor and game designer and good friend, Kevin Cole.
Kevin, you're normally a voice within the episodes with your silky hands, which you masterfully weave together episodes of Goosebuds with.
Yeah, sometimes I offer up little corrections in the course of an episode, but you guys have been really good about fact-checking yourselves, especially about 90s juice products and sugar drinks. So I had a whole Wikipedia deep dive for one of the episodes where you brought up hugs.
Yeah, did you
Awesome.
did you remember those, Kevin? Because I feel like they're an East Coast thing.
Oh yeah, the little lobster top things.
Yeah.
With the
Well,
squeezers.
that's the Kool-Aid squeezer.
That's the squeezer. I remember
some of them are
hugs.
called
Yeah.
Mondos, though. Let's start the conversation again.
Mondos are a real thing. I know that, but that's Mondo was for me in my mind, Mondo was the thing that the cool kids drank. You know, that's what the kids on Malibu Beach. Speaking of this book, what they would drink would be a Mondo. Bro, you want to get the Mondos and go down to the beach, and then we'll do a little flying. But we were on the East Coast. We have things to do, and we have dirges to honk, and we need to get done. We have to gush the Kool-Aid into our bodies and be done with it.
Yeah,
and that's here in the Midwest. We just had those big fruit barrels that we talked about that one time.
Yeah,
just
the hugs.
The hugs, just the bulk. Here's the juice. Just down it and get back to the mines.
A sugar hug. Give your stomach a sugar hug.
I mean, I drank a lot of red Kool-Aid in the day, the tropical.
Oh yeah,
with the blue outside, because that's the best. That's the greatest Kool-Aid flavor ever.
I always liked green. I really liked green.
What? You're a green?
I liked green Kool-Aid. Green Kool-Aid was awesome.
What was that, lime?
No, hold on. Let me look it up. It was let me see what the flavor of green Kool-Aid was.
Because I was definitely a grape Kool-Aid guy. That was my...
There was green apple, but it wasn't green apple. It was something else.
I'm trying to remember ever being served green Kool-Aid. I think I would have spat in a mom's face if they served me green Kool-Aid.
This is what... I'm glad I didn't bring you over to my house as a kid. My mom. In her face?
No, I was a well-behaved boy, but afterwards, after the mom walked away, I'd been like, fucking bitch, giving us green Kool-Aid. That's not true at all.
Here, it's kicking kiwi lime, Chad. Is that so bad?
Damn.
Okay, maybe we just didn't have green. I'm just trying to picture green Kool-Aid.
It was great. It had kiwi flavor, dude.
I mean,
you don't see the kiwi flavor.
No, it was very rare, but it was good.
They changed the Skittles. They changed the green Skittles.
Yeah, it was lime, but now what the hell is it now?
No, it's green apple now. It's bullshit.
Get out of here.
Oh,
Get that
I wonder
trash.
if that was well, after Paul, you kind of broke my brain a little bit this week when we were playing video games. You mentioned that what fruit flavorings are made out of beaver glands.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
So maybe green lime Kool-Aid was made out of raccoon piss and they had to change it.
If that's the case, I love raccoon's piss. Bring me raccoon's piss, please.
I mean, this does look very tasty. That
I sent the package. It's vacation Kool-Aid is what it is.
Yeah, it's tropical.
You know, I do remember that. I remember the Island Twists series,
Yes.
and they did not miss on Island Twists.
Island Twists were always a hit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking more about this. I think we were more of a high C town.
Yeah?
Yeah, like that's a brand, right? I didn't just make that up.
Yeah,
like,
no,
Ecto Cooler and everything. I feel like that's everywhere.
Ecto Cooler was big business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the cool kid drink.
And that's what we had the Kool-Aid twists, the Kool-Aid Island twist, kiwi lime, because I think I told my mom that because we wouldn't buy the individuals of High C because they were too expensive. You could get the Kool-Aid packets much cheaper, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember being like, Mom, I want Ecto Cooler. I want that. And then and I was like, she's like, well, what is it? And I'm like, it's green. It's a green one. And so she got green, and I drank that, was immediately disappointed, but then I was like, actually pretty good. And then we just kept going with it, you know?
I'll go out on a limb and say that Hawaiian Punch had the best or most scarring commercials, because they had like that weird kid with like the moose head.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember that.
He'd punch you. He'd literally punch you in the face.
What?
He's burned into my brain.
I don't remember this kid. He's an assaulter?
Yeah, he's like the Noid or something, like that kind of idea.
Whereas the Kool-Aid Man would just inflict property damage. The Hawaiian Punch kid was all about just bloodying your nose.
Right. Kool-Aid Man was a cool anarchist.
Yeah. He wanted to dismantle the system.
He wants to bring down the system. He's not a part of your system. High C Beast was a white supremacist.
Sure. Yeah, because I don't know if I ever saw High C, which means yes, white supremacy was lurking underneath all the time.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like the Silver Surfer from the Capri Sun commercials, that it turns out men's rights activist. Like,
it's funny you think Silver Surfer. I always thought like, oh, they turn into Alex Mack. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
just Alex Mack, but I guess you turn into you just do fly, right? You just kind of like the new thing was you just get to zip around like a mercury liquid.
You are allowed to zip around as a mercury liquid, but you also have to be involuntarily celibate as well.
Capri Suns go in their own way, right? Like that.
Has anyone watched Alex Mack?
No. Does it hold up?
I rewatch Pete and Pete like every year, so
nice.
It holds up really well.
Still incredible.
Yeah.
We should do oh my God, let's do an episode of that for this show.
I would love to. Do we do the Mr. Swirly's missing episode? Because that's the legendary one.
Oh my God, I would love to do a Pete and Pete episode if I can come on for that. Yeah.
I think we should put it to vote on Patreon. But I think we each bring our choice. I really would love to do the one where they try to stay up all night. That was always my favorite one.
That's a great one. Orange Lazarus is an amazing episode.
Orange Lazarus.
That's a season 2 episode. So Orange Lazarus is about a frozen Slurpee drink that
it's totally Orange Julius, isn't it?
It gives you like a euphoric sense of purpose and ability, and one can overdose on the Orange Lazarus.
I remember that one. Yes.
I'm assuming that's a Little Pete plot. That feels more like a Little Pete than a Big Pete.
It's shared between the brothers, but Little Pete is sort of brought in as a ringer for his trash talking.
Cool. I like that one. The ones that stick the most in my mind besides Mr. Swirly being missing is
the Mr. Swirly being missing was like in my mind was a very special episode.
Yeah, that was like the finale somehow in my head. That was like you got to find Mr. Swirly and that'll save the day. But the other ones were Little Pete gets like some sort of presidential cereal stuck in his nose.
Yes, I remember that. Yes,
and the heat wave like makes everything so hot that they're like throwing like. I remember like stop signs on the ground so they can get around everywhere. So it was like the floor is lava everywhere.
Yeah. The world becomes the floor is lava. Wow, I don't remember that one. That one's cool.
The first episode of season 1 is the road trip one where like they find a more perfect family on the road and they get into competition with them.
I kind of remember that.
It's a really good episode. And like there's so many good Pete and Pete episodes. They're all really good. Also,
I just found this out like this year. That band for Polaris, the theme song, like made for that show. I think.
Yeah,
like they weren't. I just always kind of assumed like, I bet if you're in California, you can just see Polaris play at local clubs. Nope.
I had the CD though, and Waiting for October is still a fucking bop.
Wait, so they had a full album?
Yeah, they released. They made a full album and they incorporated it into the show, and there's some really good songs on it. Not kidding. Look up Waiting for October. It's amazing.
All right.
Okay. I love that. We kind of danced around a good segue about this book, by the way, with the Capri Sun kids flying through the sky in California.
Oh, yeah.
But we should talk about flying kids.
I bet you Orange Lazarus will teach you how to fly.
Sure. Yeah. No, it gives you some sort of powers, right? Wait, the fuck? The magical ingredient in this book was just Kool-Aid powder. Holy shit, let's talk
Oh my
about
god,
that.
you're ready to packet. Oh my god, it is. It was an Island Twist packet. Chad, you blew the thing wide open. Okay, real quick.
Yeah, please, Paul, lay the groundwork.
Least scary Goosebumps book of all time.
I think yes, this is a fantasy story.
Yeah.
But there are scary elements to it. And especially if you're afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I thought about that, but he doesn't play. He doesn't ever play that for scares. Here's what I'll say: the only thing that is terrifying about this is if you're afraid of fame. That's what's scary about this.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of little fears in this, like fear of crowds, fear of the military, fear of your dog flying into the sun.
Yeah, these are all things like as someone who has a claustrophobia of crowds, this is actually like that last third of this book. I was like, oh no,
yeah,
he's getting squashed, and there's like mobs coming in, and they haven't set up like guards for him. Yeah, this is
some serious claustrophobia at the end.
Serious claustrophobia. But you're right. It's probably the least meant to be scary.
There's one like truly like Halloween horror type thing, like one like scary movie type scene. And it's not even that scary.
Okay, yes, but I kind of thought this book was awesome.
You're going to go to bat for this book? Okay,
Kevin, I am all about this book. This is great.
Wow, okay, guys. Okay.
It had themes. It had characters.
It paid off what it sets up in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, it had character development. Like, it had... it had an ending where everyone kind of got what they wanted in a non-hokey way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It felt definitely autobiographical, and we'll get into that.
Without a doubt. I definitely made note of a couple.
Wait. I want to hear this theory. This is awesome. I did not connect the dots to that.
Okay. Well, first off, this is a story about Jack Johnson. Yes, the singer-songwriter, Jack Johnson.
Yes, Curious George soundtrack writer, Jack Johnson.
Let's introduce the dramatis personae.
Yes. So our main boy, our number one boy is Jack Johnson.
Yeah.
And
he's menaced by Wilson Schlam.
Wilson Schlam, who is name-dropped in the first sentence, and it's incredible.
Goddamn Germans.
He's taken over everything. He blitzkrieged the first sentence.
I like how the first chapter is just, here are the characters. And we only get one curveball of a new character, and that's Ray.
Yes.
But Jack's friends are Ray and Ethan, who are just friends, and they're just there to be in the crowd and be like, give us a little bit of like reason to care about other kids.
Yeah.
And then there's Mia, who according to Jack is the cutest girl in school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she attempts to be a voice of wisdom, but essentially she's just a prize to be won.
Yeah, I was a little aware that Mia this whole time is just kind of a prop. Like,
yeah.
Even if we could jump ahead for a second, even when the secret of learning to fly starts to go around, I think there's a point where Mia's like, could you teach me to fly? And he's like,
I didn't want to do it.
He's like, you can't handle it, Mia.
And then Mia's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I guess I'll just go back to just being a normal basic person. I'll just be over here waiting for you to win my heart, like, or whatever.
Yeah, I'll just be a love interest for you that understands that flying is possible but is denied it. Okay.
That kind of bummed me out that Mia doesn't get to play along in the world.
The ingrained toxic masculinity in Jack.
Oh my god.
He needs to be more special than the people he loves.
Yeah.
Which I'll argue, like, he might have some unexplained feelings for Wilson as well.
There's a love triangle situation here. They're all in love with each other, without a doubt.
Interesting.
There's a throuple thing going.
There's 100% a throuple thing going.
Because as you're saying that, Kevin, I don't disagree. I was, as I was reading it, like feeling like, oh man, this is every friendship I ever had. Like all of my, but maybe I was in love with my best friends.
This book is Wild Things, but there's two boys, one girl. and there's flying in it.
I only remember a couple certain scenes from Wild Things. You can guess which ones. I'm just trying to remember like how it ties into how I learned to fly.
It's the throuple situation. Real quick, we got to set up these characters. Jack is a boy. Jack is a boy who describes himself as a purposeful loser.
Yeah, no. He lets his dog win.
He lets his dog beat him in wrestling.
Okay, there's some legit funny fucking lines in this book.
That shit made me laugh.
Yeah,
I think if R.L. Stine was allowed, I do think it's him writing this one.
Agreed.
100%. I don't think it's a ghostwriter on this one.
Yeah, This is an R.L. original.
I think if he was like allowed to branch out and try different genres, like maybe he wouldn't have so many throwaway books. But it's called Goosebumps. You gotta have the scares.
Yeah, gotta stay on brand.
Hey, you know what gives you goosebumps? Being high up in the air. That's gonna get you cold.
That's scary. Looking down at little ant people, very scary.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And cold. You're right. And the depressurization. This one is a Twilight Zone episode, and it's also fucking goofy as hell. Like, goofy as all hell. And I think that's what, Kevin, that's why I agree. This is 100% definitely. RL did not have anyone even like write like a draft for him. This was pure RL.
Yeah, this is almost cartoonish in how much it kicks the shit out of Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, emotionally, family-wise.
Yeah.
Physically, often.
There's boy, we're gonna go through it.
There's a little bit of like making fun of maybe just me being defensive. There's a little bit of making fun of California in it too, because it's like takes place in Malibu.
I got the sense, I got the sense that RL was spending some time in LA because he was probably rich and famous at this point.
Yeah,
and was maybe kind of poking a little bit of fun with his Midwestern sensibilities.
This is his Weezer Beverly Hills.
Yes.
I thought it was an interesting setting. Maybe he didn't do the most with it. He mentions mudslides at one point, but that seems sort of like a Wikipedia level.
Yeah. There was one where like Wilson early on because Wilson is trying to constantly impress Mia over Jack. Both of these boys trying to win this girl over.
And and all she does the whole time is say that both of them are impressive and lets both of them know that they're doing a great job. And neither of them will accept that, and they must continue their masculine fight.
Also, Mia's just like getting free shit and attention, so I mean, she's just kind of like happy to let the system go as it is, I guess.
She's a sweetheart. Right? Mia is a sweetheart, and neither of these people deserve her.
That's probably true.
Yeah, I will defend Mia as a person. I just think as a character.
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely,
totally. Like, yeah, Mia deserves the world because she is so oblivious and sweet
and understanding. She's great.
Yeah, no, she is very much. And I was going to call it the point where Wilson, it's like Mia's birthday, and she does seem really sweet because they're playing Twister. This is early on in the book, so this is kind of like laying out the plot. They're playing Twister, which I'm like, that is too PG-13
very
for
sexual.
A kid's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, I feel like as a kid, this is maybe too behind the curtain, like, I feel like I was always hoping we'd play Twister at a party because of how fucking sexual it was.
Totally,
right?
yeah.
But no, we're not. We're going to watch Five Goes West or something. We're not going to play Twister.
You never know, and like, you're playing Twister, you might slip and touch a boob, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
Yeah, you never know. It's not your fault. It's the game's fault. The other thing we should mention is that Wilson has like a supernatural ability to one-up Jack.
Yeah.
So much so that his dog, Terminator.
The dog's name is Terminator.
Has Jack's dog is of course named Morty, the lamest name for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Terminator has been trained to spin the Twister dial.
Yeah, that was
incredible.
Insane. Well, because like Wilson at the very beginning seems like to pull from the friend I always had, the dude who lies all the time.
Yeah.
My dad works at Nintendo.
Yes, exactly. Ones you up constantly. Pluses you up.
No matter what.
Yeah, always is like, my thing can do better. My dad's better. Yeah, always doing that stuff. And in the beginning of the book, they, after having a crazy bike race, where they also have this extreme materialistic show-off session in front of Mia about their bike. They're both their dogs show up. They live across the street from each other. Morty shows up, and I think what is Morty's ability? Because he says he taught Morty to do something. Like,
oh, see, it was so unimpressive. I don't even remember.
It's very unimpressive. And then
Terminator shows up and like juggles or paints a picture or something.
Yeah, like he's like
he says, I taught him to pick up the phone.
Yeah, that's and to answer the phone exactly. And like we think that's braggadocio, but apparently not, because Kevin, as you said, this dog can play fucking games and understands how to do the twister spinner.
So here begins my theory that Terminator is a demon.
Okay. Terminator was at the party and set the stage and set the plan into motion that got him that book.
Yeah. And Jack, big plot point, but Jack rips his pants at the party.
Uh-huh.
That was Terminator attempting to eviscerate Jack, but Wilson was like, "No, Terminator, no, not now. No, I'll fulfill the blood oath."
That's where he was sending a silent curse, trying to split his heart, and he's just like, "Okay, fine, I'll pull back the spell."
Wilson's side of the story is just trying to prevent his demon familiar from nuking his friends.
Well, Wilson is a bit of a sociopath, I think. So I follow that.
No, see, Wilson just really wants to have a special relationship with Morty, and this is the only way he can express it.
Mm-hmm.
Because things are not going well at home. He needed to summon a demon in order to make things better.
He prayed one night. It's like, God, I just wish... I keep trying to impress Morty. He's who I really care about. And then suddenly
Morty or Jack? Are we talking about Morty or Jack?
Oh, Jack, sorry.
I mean, what's the difference really, though?
Right. But no, Wilson doesn't seem to really care about Mia out of the context of he's trying to one-up Jack all the time.
Interesting. That's an interesting interpretation. I like that.
I bet Wilson goes home and is like, I did all this stuff and he still doesn't seem to like me. Like, I just want to show him how cool I am, and
I even beat him on my rad mountain bike, and he still seems so mad. Why doesn't he like me?
When I heard he was getting a bike, I got a bike too, and like that really set my family back, and then I had to get this demon.
I had to make a deal with this demon to get that bike.
Sold your soul for a Huffy.
And he tried to take what I love most from me, Jack, at that party, but I had to stop his Ren spirit spell.
The meanwhile Terminator is just psychically too, was like, "Do it, Wilson, kill him. Rip his heart out and take his power as your own." No, Terminator, not now.
It's time to pay your loan back, Wilson.
There was a moment, Kevin. You're talking about like I love this theory. I think it's great. It's
are you going to talk about the cat in the tree?
Well, the cat in the tree. Yeah, actually, the cat in the tree. We should talk about the cat in the tree. I was going to say, like, there's a point in this book, like around the time of the bikes, where I'm like, you guys you seem to have all of the same hobbies. Like, you guys should be best friends.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
If you'd stop this competing, this toxic masculinity, you guys could be the best of friends.
Yeah, if Wilson just had avenues to understand his feelings better, then maybe he and Jack could get something going. Jack seems a little oblivious to the whole thing, although I think he also probably has some... Again, it's a throuple situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Paul, but you brought up the... I was a little scared for that cat in that scene.
Me too!
It was a terrifying scene. That was the scariest scene in the whole book.
Yeah, poor Olive.
Olive, the cat, gets caught in a tree after they have their bike race. After their dogs fight, and Terminator flings Morty through the air.
Oh, yeah.
It is described as Terminator with a flick of his paw flinging Morty across the sky, and I think picking it back up and pinning it back down.
Oh, dude, there was a description of the next sentence. I forgot I saved that. It seemed to describe that Terminator batted Morty, which means like it's either a big dog or a super strong dog. I don't know if they ever said what kind it was. Hits the dog so hard it goes flying in the air and is able to run across the yard and juggle Morty. He's able to combo Morty before he hits the ground and air juggle him. That's insane.
I pictured that little Smash Brothers home run bat sound, like ping.
Just goes off into the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But how? All right, so Olive is an adorable name for a kitten.
Yeah,
it is.
How many shaken, not stirred martinis do you have to have?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
before you name your cat Olive.
Yeah, you're living in Malibu. You're living in a beautiful Malibu, and you got your cat named Olive.
Well, it's like a sweet old lady, right? So maybe she was like a young the 1940s. She was a partier or something, right? It was like old lady Crenshaw or whatever her name was.
It's Martha Stewart. Let's be real. It was a stand-in for Martha Stewart. We all knew that that's what this was supposed to be. We know what this is. So Olive gets caught in the tree.
Yeah,
and in their pursuit of love for each other, Jack and Wilson, they decide that they're going to run into the tree and save it. And Wilson loses the foot race. Jack jumps onto the tree and forces Wilson to lift him up. He tries to climb out on the branch, falls into Wilson's arms.
Into his arms in a very yaoi bishonen tsundere. All of the words for these two dudes got something going on.
They really do. They really do. But then even better is he catches him lovingly in his arms and then drops him onto the concrete ground after he's caught him once.
But that's the tsundere part. But he sustained damage. In that, like he said, like he broke his finger, like he displays his like broken swollen finger to Mia, and she's like, neat.
Please continue to batter your bodies more for my entertainment.
You go, Queen.
So Wilson gets the cat, but there's like that whole time this is happening, I think there's just a random cut to where like the old woman is like, "No, Olive," and like it describes Olive like hanging on by one paw,
like the hang in there poster. It's like doing the hang in there.
I mean, the cat will probably be fine, but I definitely felt like, oh no, this cat's just gonna eat it while they're not paying attention.
While they're in love.
I mean, I think the real threat is Terminator just absolutely destroying that cat if it hits the ground.
Again, the demon in the room is the issue.
The son of Sam Dog. That is Terminator.
To expand out my mythology, I think Morty is a really ineffective angel that was sent as punishment to watch over Jack.
These two guardians sent to fight for the heart of these boys.
So after this sequence of events, I don't think we really learn anything about Jack's life at this point, right? At this point, they're going to go to the party, right? Right? Is that the next part?
Yeah, they're going to go to the party, but I did want to call out the most interesting dad in the book series so far.
Yes.
Is probably Jack Johnson's dad, who is an agent who seems to kind of like, this is maybe a very like too inside baseball Hollywood thing, but normally an agent wouldn't represent like all of these types of acts, I don't think. Like they say that his like most famous, which I did enjoy this detail, that his most famous client is a man who plays the conductor on a train,
which
on a
instantly
TV show.
I was like, Ringo Starr is his
exactly.
best
I was like,
client?
George Carlin from Shining Time Station. I had the exact same thought. I was like, that's the only famous TV conductor.
Yep.
And his one line is "all aboard," and he says it every week.
Every single
aboard.
He's getting a speaking line every week. That's a pretty decent gig.
That also clearly, like, I read that as like, that's a hallmark of the show. He probably starts the episode off. You can't.
The show's probably called All Aboard.
Yeah, it probably is. But that's Dad's most famous client. So Dad is constantly driving to different parts of LA or California to look up new talent. And I think one of the funniest ones
Oh my God.
is the example of like one of the acts that Dad was going to go see was a woman who would perform Beethoven and by hitting herself on the head, and she hit herself twice and then passed out. And
what
then it just
the fuck was that?
It just seemed to be a take. Like, I took that as RL, as like, I think this is what Hollywood acts are like. I think this is what, the entertainment industry is.
Chad, is he wrong?
No. I mean, this is a world that has the Gong Show, right? Like that kind of stuff is totally. America's Got Talent has shown that we will not stop watching people who are chosen to also sacrifice themselves on TV for embarrassment.
Right.
Like, yeah.
If it was as quick as striking yourself in the head and falling unconscious, that wouldn't be showmanship. That's why she failed. If it was a prolonged brain damage sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
She needs to sacrifice herself over decades for us.
Yeah. I liked that didn't mention the dad. I was like, so we had to take her to the hospital. It just seemed like he just left. It seemed like he just left the audition or whatever it was, as she just laid unconscious on the floor. But so I'm just remembering thinking of the acts from this book, because that one was pretty good. There's a one with the band that
breaks up before he can go and even
go there, and then another one was like Simon and their amazing needles.
Oh yeah, it was a monkey and it had knitting needles, right?
Yeah.
And it was really described. I actually described really well, because the quote I wrote down is, "He can knit a sweater in 10 minutes, sleeves and all," as if I would not be impressed. If there weren't sleeves on it, if it was just a sweater vest, I'd be like, just a sweater vest. I'm not that
That's impressive if a human can do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I mean, he'd be good for the YouTube landscape, I think, because you want at least a 10-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the perfect time.
He was ahead of his time. That was the problem.
Yeah.
You can even get a mid-roll ad in there in the middle of the knitting.
Before he starts the sleeves, you can get the mid-roll ad in.
Yeah, exactly. So I just liked that detail of the dad being kind of like, he's out there, he's just looking for the next the first big gig he can get someone that'll be his like money, his cash cow.
Yes.
I wouldn't sleep on Simon, because okay, maybe it's not interesting to watch someone knit a whole sweater, although I think in 10 minutes probably that's a flurry of activity.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do the entire late show circuit probably multiple times. You could.
How many sweaters can you pump out of him, and how much can you sell those sweaters for? That's a pretty big collector's item.
How much time you got?
Yeah. I mean, is there a machine we have currently that can shit out a sweater in 10 minutes?
I don't
probably.
Think so. Listen, yeah, but at this point, probably they.
Here's the real question: can Simon teach other monkeys how to do this? Because we've got an industry on our hands.
I think I figured out how he does it, because he's got like the hand feet, right? So like he can quadruple
4 needles.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
He's 4 needling.
Jack's dad is an idiot. He just threw money out the fucking window.
He didn't go check out Simon's act, but he checked out Bash Yourself in the Head Beethoven. No thanks. Come on, Simon.
Braintoven?
Paintoven.
Paintoven. There it is. So before Jack goes to Mia's party, there is a line that resonates so much with my high school former self-soul. And it goes, "I went to the party, and wouldn't you know it, it ruined my life forever."
Yes, that was such a great line. Again, another one of those hilarious lines. I was like, little do you know, Jack, that's going to be everything you do in middle school.
Little do you know that there are parties that can ruin your life forever in much less fun ways.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jack, are you going to realize that you never enjoy parties? This is the first one. Yeah.
It begins.
Holy shit.
Hey, I'm going to use this time to say something to anyone listening that changed my life in college. Is from Paul F. Tompkins. Another word of advice that he'd gotten from someone else was, hey, guys and girls listening to this, if you're at a party, you can leave whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can go home. You don't have to stay until 3 a.m. If you're tired,
totally.
If you're not having fun, go home. Enjoy your personal time.
Do it.
Which is why, like, have a beer if that's an age appropriate thing for you to do at this party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But before you start that second beer, really think about how long you want to be here.
Sometimes 30 minutes is all you need to see the people you wanted to talk to and say hi, and then you just go home and play video games. It's pretty great.
You don't even have to say goodbye. You can just Irish goodbye.
Oh, I love the Irish goodbye.
Yeah, if the party's loud enough and swinging enough, you don't have to say anything. You can just dip out.
Poof.
I started doing in college like a half Irish goodbye, which was like I'm just going to call it the Scottish goodbye, which is you don't say goodbye to everyone. Like, you don't go around the party and say you're out, because that's fucking weird. People are in conversations that always threw off. What you do is you just start walking towards the door. You won't stop. And you start going, bye, goodbye, everyone. I'm leaving, goodbye. Like, you just say it out loud to the air.
All right, yeah.
And people who want to say bye could say bye, but there's no pressure. And then you're just like, I'm out.
You let the room know that you're leaving.
Yeah, that was my go-to move, and I was clearly so popular in college.
Little did I know that college party would ruin my life. Chad Kwan.
Forever.
So they're at this party, they're playing Twister.
No, hold on, before they even get the Twister, can I just point out that fucking Wilson shows up? They're blowing up balloons, long, thin balloons.
Yeah.
They're blowing these balloons up, and Wilson walks into the room, big dick swinging, and fucking starts grabbing balloons and making exquisite balloon creatures.
Also, they weren't long, you need certain balloons for that. I'm pretty sure.
He made a balloon representation of their gym teacher.
And everyone recognized it right away.
Uh-huh. It's that good. It was that much of an
uncanny.
Accurate sculpture.
Not to say nothing of the chicken, which, quote, everyone went crazy over that chicken.
It was his final piece, too. That's what he ended the show with.
That was his showstopper.
It was the showstopper. Jack's dad should be booking Wilson.
I know, you're right. Wilson has, like, at some point I thought there was going to be revealed that Wilson was, like, an alien. Because he is just supernaturally good at everything.
Yep.
Just demon. Dude, just his dog is a demon.
He's got demon.
The dog feeds him dark powers in exchange for the blood of his loved ones. That's why he has to keep hurting Jack. Jack is the only person he loves, but he has to keep hurting him to harvest his blood. To keep.
You never hear anything about Wilson's parents because they're dead and he lives by himself with the demon in their house.
I think it's a good detail because they don't really say exactly how old these kids are, so I was picturing like 10 or 12.
Yeah.
Or maybe older, that RL's version of what kids do at a party is, we're just blowing balloons and throwing them around. And like, maybe that's what kids did at parties, but that feels such a, like, I don't know. They're children.
Well,
they like colorful orbs.
We didn't just kick around colorful orbs. We like compared them, bounced them, talked about other colorful orbs that we had seen.
Yeah, that's right. Because you had the spatial memory to remember the previous balloons you had seen.
Your other balloons that you loved in your life, yeah.
To talk about how atmospheric pressure has lessened some of the orbs.
Kevin, you went to some rad kid parties.
I'm just saying, it's not as simple as RL thinks it is. I'm with you.
It felt like a very like infantile version of what he thinks kids do at parties.
I don't know. I always threw just wads of balloon in the air and then giggled and slapped them with my hands, and that was the whole party.
Just spiking them into the ground.
Well, that's my 30 minutes. See you guys later.
So Wilson shows up and does a tight 10 minutes of
balloon humor.
And then I think they go into Twister. Again, don't let your kids play Twister. There's a reason why that doesn't really happen.
They're too young.
They
play
young.
Twister. He rips his pants. Luckily, Mia's stepmom gives him another pair of pants that belongs to her brother. And they then sit down for lunch to eat hot dogs. And I don't know. I'm assuming so. They all have hot dogs, right? This is insane. This book's insane.
Yeah,
they all have hot dogs, normal sized hot dogs. But Wilson pulls out a foot-long crop hot dog.
Yeah.
And he goes, mine's way bigger. Check this out. Like,
they have a literal dick measuring contest.
Yes, there's a text dick measuring contest in this. We didn't make this up. They compare hot dog lengths at this party.
And then Wilson like gobbles it down. So, again, that's the sexual tension. Yeah, right in front of Jack.
He eats a foot-long hot dog in 2 bites, like Popeye or some shit.
He opens his gullet and just sword swallows the foot-long hot dog.
I'm pretty sure there's a cutout line in the version we read, but in the original version, he maintained eye contact with Jack the entire time he ate it.
Oh my god!
So I guess that may have happened before the pants rip. All I remember is like Jack runs out of the house, right? Like Jack is embarrassed.
Yeah, the final one-upsmanship is Jack's present to Mia is a Purple Rose CD, and Wilson's present to Mia is tickets to a Purple Rose concert.
Yeah, at the Hollywood Bowl front row, which the moment in the book where I did the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen meme is me going like, oh, I know where that is. I used to live down the street from that. Hollywood Bowl, very cool venue. Front row seats,
expensive tickets, are those?
Crazy expensive. The Hollywood Bowl is like a 20,000 person venue. It's like an outdoor venue.
Demons.
demons. If you want to know what it is for reference, on Netflix, there's Python at the Bowl. You can watch my Python perform live sketches. They don't all hold up, but it's pretty fun.
If Jack had only stuck around, he would have seen there were 3 tickets in the novel.
Oh my god! They're secretly. Well, he said there was 2, and Wilson's like, "No, it's not for you, Mia. I just want you to know about them. It's for me and Jack."
We're gonna bootleg it for you and let you see the tape.
But
that's even cooler.
The fact that we don't know what Wilson's parents do, at that point I was like, well, Wilson's crazy rich. But now I'm starting to wonder if that's just part of the devil deal he made with the dog. Yep.
Terminator. Its name is Terminator.
It wasn't Terminator until he made the pact with the devil dog. His name used to be Muffins, and then just
I am no longer Muffins, I am Terminator now. My name in the lowest of the 9 hells was Baruch Kazan. Roughly translated into your tongue, it is the one who terminates. You may call me Ender.
Well, Terminator's a popular movie. I think I'm calling Terminator.
That also works as long as you give me blood. Now bring me souls to rend. Also scratch behind my ear. I also like that still. And bacon strips.
This is a good headcanon lore of this book.
Yeah.
So
the book gets scary. The book gets scarier and better when you think it's a demon dog.
Yeah. So Jack is embarrassed, or he's mad. He's like he just wants to fight, aka kiss Wilson so hard.
Yeah.
And he runs away, and I think it's very sweet that Mia is running after, no, please stay at my party. Mia seems to genuinely like Jack. He should be worried.
She is all in on the throuple. She wants both of them to fall in love so that they can complete their throuple.
Yeah.
She's not very proactive about making the 2 of them fall in love, but she wants them to be around.
Yes.
She's like, whatever you 2 are doing, that's great. Whatever. But I need both of you, or it doesn't work.
Yep.
I thought this was interesting that, Jack runs out. It's in my mind, it's just raining. I don't think it was raining at the time, but he's just running through and kids are chasing after him. So he's like, oh, I'll go to the old Darby house.
Mm-hmm.
That abandoned house on Malibu that's definitely not been. Sure. There's probably unused real estate in California. I guess that counts. Don't really talk about the legend at all. It's not set up. It just goes into a Darby house or whatever it was called. Abandoned, falls through the floorboards.
Falls through the floor.
Is attacked by a horde of rats.
That's the scariest part of the book, is when the real red-eyed rats show up and try to bite him.
I just want to point out that he did do something literary here, where he hits his lowest point in the basement.
Oh my god, Kevin. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
This is a good book.
He hits...
Right?
We read a good book today.
We read a good book.
RL is giving himself at least 3 self-high fives over that.
There's a quote that I wrote down that comes up later that I was like, that's good stuff. I really wrote down, that was legit good stuff, RL. Great job. And I'll quote it in a little bit, because we're going to get there soon.
Okay.
I think I know. I wrote down a few, too. I think I know the one you're talking about.
I think you wrote down the same line as me.
But he finds a magical chest in the basement. He opens it up Zelda 64 style. Mm-hmm. He finds a book. He can't read it because it's dark and rats are attacking him.
Holds up the book N64 Zelda style, and then the rats come at him, and then he uses it as a weapon to beat off the rats instantly. He immediately turns it into a weapon for himself. He uses his grimoire to beat them away.
Meanwhile, he didn't see it, but in the shadows, Terminator the dog was also there, just watching, going,
nodding.
He's just chanting over the rats,
saying the chant. Hold on, what was the chant in this book? Hold on, it's he's in the corner and he was whispering, Hishma Shah Shah Ram Sham.
Yeah, that was a good incantation in this book. I mean, it was the same word, just with different vowels, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't ever, that's kind of a cool part of the mystery. I liked that there's no explanation where the book came from. There's not even an author. It's not written by the great Zambino or whatever.
Right.
It's just a book called Learning to Fly. And I don't know about you guys. I was picturing it kind of like that, the book from Beetlejuice, for the recently deceased or whatever.
Yes.
Just that like it seems like this was published by a full company. Like it's not like it was like a manuscript written by a crazy person. This is a published book.
It's Demon published, but it was a Demon Vanity Press. That's for sure.
Sure. Yeah, it's an extension of Penguin Books.
Mm-hmm.
I pictured it as one of those like 50s and 60s like crafts for a rainy day style book.
Yeah,
with like sort of the IKEA style illustrate or the not IKEA like Fallout style like Pip-Boy illustrations on how to fly. And in a very millennial moment, he makes terrible bread.
Yep. Something we can all relate to now. He makes terrible bread.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's made that recipe, because it was like yeast, because yeast rises. It was just like, okay, RL, Jesus fucking Christ.
He went for it, and it's
went for it.
10 egg yolks.
10
you need 10 egg yolks for this one.
A lot of binder in this bread.
Yeah.
Seltzer water, like bubble. I guess because of the bubbles.
Yeah, seltzer water, flour, maple syrup.
Maple syrup's part of it. My question is, why not the whites? Because that's the lighter of the two.
Oh,
like
shit.
I agree. Like egg yolks have much more flavor and are delicious, but I don't know.
They're the fluff. The white's the fluff, and that's the stuff that rises. Again, if we're going with if we have a theme here. RL.
You could make a meringue. And that's got air beaten into it. That would be an egg white meringue would probably solve a lot of the textural issues he expressed.
That's true. It needed some more sugar, and I think the maple syrup was a little underused. You needed to sweeten it up.
Yeah.
So he makes it. He takes it home and makes it. The kids have stopped looking for him, I guess, right? You know.
He goes home with this book, and he's looking at it, right, and. He finds the instructions to fly, and in order to fly, you need to do these certain stretches, right? Which he starts to do. At the two friends, Kevin, that you mentioned earlier, that were brought in, I think, essentially just to show that there are other kids in this school.
We'll call them Jenkins and the Mouth.
Jenkins and the Mouth show up. Jenkins
in the middle of watching Jack try to suck his own dick, basically.
Yeah.
Wow, Jack, your parents are gone for.
I mean, I just interpret that as kids come over and they see Jack with his leg stuck over his head, unable to get out.
Yeah, it's for tennis practice.
They keep being like, "What were you doing, Jack? Jack, tell us what you were doing. We're your friends. Don't worry that the Mouth is here, and he's definitely going to tell everybody."
Yeah. Talk to your friend Jenkins.
Tell Jenkins. Jenkins will listen.
Jenkins will listen.
So you have to do these contortions. You have to do a set number of jumps in place, silly jumps in place. You have to read the cursed words that the demon dog Terminator was saying in the basement secretly. And then you have to bake this bread and eat it.
The incantation before adding the ingredient is really interesting to me. I thought for sure that'd be like the last thing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Because he realizes there's a packet in the back of the book. He's like,
yeah, and that's part of the concoction. You mix that with the bread, it turns it into a green gooey lump, and you eat that.
Yep.
Now, the thing is, he makes this stuff. His parents come home. He tries to hide it. Or no, his parents don't come. His parents are coming home. He like rushes. And in his ignoring of the bread briefly, Morty takes a bite out of it. And Morty begins to float in the air, proving that all the shit that he did, the contortions and the jumps and the rapping, the demon rapping that he did, was all for naught, and it was all just a hazing ritual to make you look like a damn fool.
Well, you got to sell the package, right? Like Tony Robbins knows if he just tells you the one piece of advice. I don't even know what Tony Robbins fucking talks about. But if he just tells you the one piece of advice, he can't sell you a whole lecture. But if you put in multi-steps, then he can stretch out a whole like multi-weekend visit.
Anyone can sell you a pack of flying yeast. You know,
it's true. It's like in like the Betty Crocker stuff, they tell you to add an egg.
Yeah.
But most of the recipes don't need an egg.
What?
They just need the box and water.
What?
So
are you fucking?
You don't need to add the egg. The egg just makes you feel like you're a big boy doing baker stuff.
You don't need that egg.
You don't need the egg in a lot of Betty Crocker recipes.
Save yourself an egg.
Oh my god, Kevin! The amount of times as a kid where I was like, I don't have an egg, so I can't make these brownies right now.
You can.
I deprived myself of so much extra brownie.
You just kind of need water in most of them.
Damn.
Yeah, they're pre-egged.
Yeah, the dog can just do it. Morty could just fly of his own.
And maybe it's something with the simplicity of the dog, or maybe, as Kevin, you said, it is an angel and already had the power of flight. And
sure.
It was finally using it in a way to try and convince this kid to start flying.
Or Morty was like, don't eat this because like it's dark, it's demon magic,
it's
so I'm going to eat it before you can, so I can save your soul.
But it only got half of it in the bad angel that it is.
Jacob told me I had to save your soul. I'm not done with him, Jacob.
This is probably one of the most terrifying things in the book is when Morty just starts floating out an open window. There's always an open window.
Yeah.
Starts floating out an open window and just is like a speck in the sky while Jack tries to frantically gobble down gross like barf dough and doing stretches on his yard as his dog floats away into space.
And there's 10 raw eggs in this thing. Remember that. So that's 10 chances of salmonella right there.
You didn't bake it, right? Yeah, he just mixed it together.
And he has to learn trial by fire how to steer and move around, which answers like the
posing, right?
Yeah, the posing. It answers the dumb Superman question: how does Superman fly faster? Does he just like clench his butt cheeks and like push his hand more forward, or like what's the throttle? Like how does he turn?
This seemed to be the version of it's like when you're skiing and it's pizza and French fries. It seemed to be legs splayed out, you slow down. Legs together, you go fast.
Exactly.
Look where you want to go, and your body will go there.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's like if I just pointed, I went that way, and I was like, that's magic. That's not even like you having the ability to fly. That's like some sort of external power, right?
Again, magic words, magic dust.
Yeah,
so yes,
you're right.
It's magic.
So he flies, and he's having a great time. He eventually catches up. He does think that Morty is going to fly into the sun, which I think he forgot about all the space and lack of oxygen between the sun and Earth, which would have absorbed and frozen Morty well before he got to the sun.
Oh, poor dog.
Poor dog. But he doesn't. He catches Morty. He catches up to him, and then he has a good fly. He has a good fly about, and he's having a great time.
Yeah.
And here's where I wrote a quote down that I just thought RL was just really feeling it that day. He writes as Jake flies through the air. He says, "Funny, I thought. Gazing at the world from way up here should seem scary, but it isn't scary at all. In fact, it feels safer, calmer, not as confusing as when you're in it, down below."
Damn.
See, I read that in a Wizard People voice, like in a Wizard People tier reader voice.
Let's hear it. You read it, Kevin. You read it.
What page is one?
I'll just send you the words right here.
With your best bread, Neely.
Yeah. Okay.
Funny, Jacob thought.
Funny, I thought. Gazing at the world from way up here should seem scary. But it isn't scary at all. In fact, it feels safer, calmer, not as confusing as when you're in it, down below.
You're right. It's totally Brad Neal. It's the some men are just men and some gods are just gods.
Just gods. His face is the worst. But yeah, there was that passage struck me by surprise too, Paul, because it's poetic.
It's a great observation.
Yeah.
Yeah. This Jack is really despite being struck by, this toxic masculinity, he's really maturing for his age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did we mention that he likes superheroes? That's kind of a big.
Oh yeah, he likes superheroes. He's real into superheroes.
Yeah. Okay. That done. Yeah.
I did like that one of the first one-ups early in the book was that Jack drew a superhero, and then what's his name?
Wilson drew 5 of them.
Drew 5 called like Mia's Protectors or something.
Which is really creepy. That's super creepy.
Yeah, there's a little bit like this is like insert fan art a little bit that the girls should be like red flags about, but whatever. I thought that was a funny one up.
But yeah, Jack masters flying. He becomes a master in a day. Brings his dog back, ties his dog down with a rock to the ground, which is just a funny moment. And then
dog
goes
inside. By the way, sorry, just like put that dog indoors.
That dog's not safe. Yeah, that dog is not safe right now.
Yeah.
And he goes inside and says goodnight to his parents and goes to sleep. And then the next day, he hears outside of his window Mia and Wilson skating. They're roller skating, and Wilson's doing trick jumps off of his ramp that he built.
He built a half pipe.
Of his little half pipe. And then so Jack is like, "Oh, I'll show them," and he's like, "Hey guys, check out this!" And he jumps out of his bedroom window and falls into the bushes.
Holy shit! It's great.
It's a great.
That's comedy.
It's a great goof. It's a great, hilarious goof.
I did it for you, Mia. It's all for you.
It's all for you, Mia.
As he jumps out the window.
Smash. In my head, the window was closed.
Oh yeah, yeah. He smashed through the window.
By the way, like just in terms of pacing, this is like a third or halfway through the book. This one moves, I think, incredibly fast for a Goosebump. Like in terms of the general conceit, right? Like
it escalates too.
Yeah.
Like the weird part about this story is like it doesn't feel like there's so it de-escalates in the next chapter because it's like it was raining for a couple days. I had to write an essay. Like he has to do all this boring shit.
Yeah.
It's like I had to help my parents clean the garage.
Yeah, he just lives his normal ass life for a little bit.
And he hid the book in a mattress in the garage.
Yes.
Which is, I think, important only in that he's like, my dad likes to collect a lot of things. But I stored the book in a ripped up mattress. Like, I don't know if your dad likes to collect things as much as he's a hoarder, but that's fine. You go ahead.
Definitely a hoarder.
Mom must be like a dentist or something that's pulling in the books,
you're right.
I don't see
supporting this California lifestyle.
They're living in Malibu, collecting shit. Yeah, and like having a house big enough to have a garage full of beds and pool ladders and shit like that. Yeah,
a dog, a son.
Not now, honey. I gotta drive up to Calabasas and see a monkey who can ride a bike. It's gonna pick our money in someday. It's our train coming into the station.
Calabasas. This guy lives in LA. Yeah, so really it's just boring for a while, and then Jack is like, Wilson, you and I, we're going to race, and I'm going to show you guys something cool. And they race. He flies. He literally jumps off of the starting line, flies into the air, and is exuberant, is just flying, just joyful, and Mia's cheering for him. Oh my God. And then he looks back to see what Wilson's doing in this time, and Wilson's fucking flying.
Yeah. That was insane. Yeah. That blew my brain that Wilson could.
I went, what? It wasn't a big what, but it was a little.
Yeah,
it was like, what? It's like, you're not going to give this kid anything.
No.
So Wilson saw Jack flying on his first flight and kept his fucking cool because this kid knows about demon magic. And he apparently observed Jack with the book, went in, stole the book, did the ritual, put the book back, just to fucking fuck up Jack's entire life.
Yeah, and also he waited. Like, Wilson seemed to wait until Jack played his hand.
Yes.
Just so Wilson could go, nuh-uh, I could do it too. Like,
such pettiness can only be achieved by a jilted lover.
Yeah, they have their fly off, and then Wilson leaves to go fly some more, assumedly. I can only assume that he goes to fly more.
From here, things like escalate really fast.
Yeah.
They do they have a race in front of the whole school where they both fly,
and the school goes fucking bonkers.
Yeah, like teachers, like parents see this, and like even the parents, like Jack's parents, afterward are like, "Hey, we heard what you did at school. You can fly." Like this is the level the Goosebump book has never done, I think, other than the reveals of like, the whole town is ghosts or whatever.
The best part about this book is it's so crazy, but it's not crazy in relation to the rest of the book. It's crazy to our reality because the rest of the world relishes the insanity that is happening here. And his dad is like, you think he's gonna ground him for flying, right? And he's like, no, you're my great act. You're my white whale. I've been looking for you, son. And now I value you because I can make money off of you.
Yeah.
We're gonna take you to a car dealership.
I'm gonna get you a little peek into probably how his dad is not that successful. The big gig he lines up is at Marv's Motors or something like that.
It's like, we're unveiling a new car. Now see the flying boy.
I was going to say, they're unveiling a new car, the Silverhawk, which is apparently a Malibu Marv proprietary car that only is sold at Malibu Marv.
It's like a DeLorean thing where this bad man just made his own line of cars.
Yeah, and they have this car dealership show. He flies at the car dealership show. His mom, when she's not working at her MD practice, makes him a superhero outfit because she actually loves her son and pays attention to what he likes, and makes him a cool outfit, and he flies around, and then the army shows up.
The army is like, surprise, we're here to steal your blood so you can fight Al-Qaeda.
Pretty much so. They even say, like, we could use you as a secret weapon against, like, foreign powers.
The military man says the quiet part loud and says, perhaps as a secret weapon against our enemies. You save that until you have him lured in, military
once he's
person.
in Weapon X, then you start telling him who he's gonna kill.
Yes.
You say it's to defend America or to make it great again. Don't do the attack the enemy's part out loud. I bet everyone else in their khakis looked over at that guy and we're like, God damn it, Jerry.
Not yet. Wait till we gotta indoctrinate him a little bit more.
Sorry, it's Jerry's first week.
Jerry's just ready to just drop some bombs on people.
Have you ever flown while firing an M16, son?
What's the kickback that you can control when you're flying? I just also think, to your point, Paul, I had the same thing. I'm like, I don't think Dad's a good agent, because while he is getting his son what is usually seen as the downfall of your career, doing local auto appearances, right? If I grab Thor's hammer, what a savings from Galaxy Quest. Meanwhile, Wilson has a TV show already.
His own TV show with his name in it.
Yeah. And a superhero suit and everything, right? They don't really say what he's doing, but I'm assuming he's just flying by burning buildings.
Let's be real. It's a reality show. It's no All Aboard, okay? It's nowhere close to that. But it's still a show with his name in it.
True.
And while Jack is in the spotlight, he suddenly can't go to school, hang out with Mia or the Mouth or Jenkins. He's cut off. He's isolated. He can't go outside without being mobbed by fans who they want him to dance for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ruining his life, and he hates the fame, and he's just sort of regretting his entire situation.
Yeah.
He hates this curse of being special.
Yes. Yeah. Finally being special. But the problem is this is an allegory. There's always going to be someone better than you, right?
Yeah. Well, comparison is the theft of joy, right?
Yes.
So he's he's not enjoying that he can fly, even though the rest of the world, he is still focused on how Wilson is even more popular and famous and has all of this attention.
Mm-hmm.
If we went back in time and told the 12-year-old versions of ourselves what we do, write for cartoons, write fantasy shows, play D&D on a thing that people listen to. I make video games. If we told our 12-year-old selves that, they'd be like, wow, you must be happy all the time.
Hey, 12-year-old Paul, you're reading a Goosebumps book. You're going to do that for a job one day.
Dude, this is a real episode. This is
a real book, and it's creating a real episode.
Uh-huh.
And then they'd be like, wow, you can go to the store and buy Betty Crocker products anytime you want and just make yourself a cake. And we're like, well, we can, but we shouldn't because there's a global pandemic right now.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait, also, let me tell you about the global pandemic. You're going to watch out for that.
Here's how you're going to want to short the market.
Hydrocloxazine or whatever, get a bunch of stock in that around February. Tell him nothing else, right? Tell him nothing else about anything else happens over the last 20 years.
I'm sorry to bring everyone down.
No, I'm having a great time
good.
talking to 12-year-old me.
But it's such like a harsh like lesson that RL is teaching the kids, and I think one that's more relevant now in Gen Z is said to value fame almost like more than stability.
Yeah,
like. They aren't exactly kids right now, but like this is still like a pretty good lesson about like, being popular can be pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, boo-hoo, poor popular people.
Again, I think it might be a little bit of RL at a certain part of his career when he wrote this is reflecting on some stuff.
This is his Johnny Cash cover of Hurt, right? Like,
yes.
This is his look at this is my empire of dirt, and he's just like looking around, just like all this fame. I just want to go back home to Oregon or whatever it is.
I just want to. He's from Ohio, and he wants to write his joke books in Ohio right now.
I miss writing my toilet joke books.
Oh man.
No, you're right. Jack is incredibly mature as he's seen. What I think is our big, act 3 is Wilson returns from, Hollywood fame to say, we have set up a giant event that we are going to race one more time for $1 million?
Yeah.
$1 million.
$1 million. And then 2 billion people
2 billion
will be
people are going to watch, yeah.
Not even on the level of the Truman Show fiction where everyone was watching the finale. A third of the planet will be watching this race.
Yes.
Yeah, there's kind of a funny kid line where he says 2 billion people will be watching, and he says, "Wow, the whole world." It's like, quite a bit of the world.
Yeah, quite a bit of it
will be watching.
But that's nuts that there's this big the big final race and that's where the crowd is swarming Jack even more. He loses his mom and dad in the crowd. Again, terrible agent dad.
The cops have to pull him out of a sea of grasping arms, just grabbing at him as he's drowning in like the elbow fat of 1 million like sweaty fans.
That's also, it's like, the kid from that flying car commercial. I'm like, has he done nothing else? Has his dad got him no other gigs besides this race and the car commercial?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks over at Wilson and he's like, Wilson is loving this. Wilson Schlamm, who could find love nowhere, finally has the love of all.
But he doesn't have the love of the one he wants.
No.
But I think this is where Wilson moves past Jack.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where they truly say goodbye, because as Jack hears the start gun and he lifts his arms up and begins to try and get away from the earth, he finds he cannot fly. Or so we think.
But time has passed, right? And Wilson, I think they say Wilson's just like out with a show and doing celebrity appearances.
He's not even in school anymore.
No.
He's moved on to the flying life.
Oh,
the flying life is all.
He doesn't have time to hang out with them anymore. He's dating Ariana Grande. It's just like his whole life has changed.
Yep.
And meanwhile, Jack returns to a normal life. He still gets to hang out with Mia. He still gets to hang out. Well, although Mia's probably less interested now that it's sort of like
Now it's a traditional couple's. Yeah.
The luster gone off of Jack now that the one boy who could fly is not in their lives anymore.
She liked the tension of the throuple. That was
the game is gone. It's like now I'm having the Mouth and Ray fight over me or something or whatever.
the Mouth and Jenkins, neither of them they don't fit into the throuple though. That's the problem.
You're right.
And that's kind of the book.
Yeah, well, except I think you said it, Kevin, but in case it wasn't clear, it's revealed that Jack still can fly. He just lied in front of camera. He threw
away fame, power, and riches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled a real comic book move, actually, to when your power is exposed, to subvert the public expectations of Peter Parker can't be Spider-Man because Spider-Man's right over there, or what, whatever, like that, so that he can have a quiet life of flying sometimes over Malibu. But he doesn't tell anyone.
I mean, yeah, he says he does fly at night, like, just to feel the rush again. He flies for himself, which is a nice little message. Nice. But one day Wilson's gonna catch a Hellfire missile over Fallujah or something like that, and Jack is gonna have mountains of student loan debt, and he's gonna be like, maybe I should give the army.
Oh my god! What if it's like a helicopter lands and they're like, Wilson was captured.
You're the only one that can get him out, Jack.
You're the only one who can get him. We know.
But I just started my music career. I don't have time for this.
Oh god, he flies in. He flies into the bunker and like rescues Wilson, and they just embrace. They just like. This was a great book.
This was a great book. I'll say that.
It's not scary, and that was my problem with it. There's like no scares in it. But yeah, this one has the most. We read that quote recently about him saying that there's no subtext, but this one is all subtext.
Yes, this one is all what it's like to be a middling artist, which I feel in my bones sometimes, where it's like, I don't even think it's what it's like to be a middling artist. I think it's what it's like to be an artist at all, because you're always comparing yourself to someone else. Someone's always more successful than you. Someone's always hotter than you. Yep. And if you don't think that, then you're a sociopath with no problems. Like,
yeah.
Not that everyone needs to think that they're shit in order to be good. I'm just saying, like, if you don't occasionally have like these worries that you're not good, it's common to have worries that you're not good.
Yeah, it's also interesting that like they don't. I was kind of expecting for even almost like not a darker turn, but like for them to really dig into Wilson at the end, where like Wilson's miserable. He doesn't seem miserable. It seems like he like he can't hang out with his friends anymore. But he's like,
everybody kind of gets what they want, and that's like really loyal to these character types. Like everyone apart from, well, like our two major characters grow and change. Like Wilson grows out of showing up Jack. Like he just kind of grows into this new celebrity status, like he was kind of meant for him, and that's kind of a good scenario for him. That's a happy ending. Yeah. And Jack is like, I don't have to be the best. I just have to do what's right for me. Like, I have to fly when I need to fly. I have to draw these superheroes because they're screaming from the pit of my soul. Like, I have to make this weird shit, and the only way I'm gonna love doing it is if I'm not constantly comparing myself to other things, which is a good lesson.
Yeah. Also, I defeated Terminator. I killed Terminator, and his demon soul went back to hell.
Yeah. Also, the part they left out is that he did pick up Terminator one night and flew him out over the ocean and dropped him.
He dropped him over the Marianas Trench just to make sure.
I buried him deep.
I really did enjoy this ending for it being that kind of, like you said, Kevin, it characters mostly get whatever they want, but as we already mentioned, that since Mia's kind of a non-character, I wouldn't have minded.
She gets to be his girlfriend.
Well, yeah, I know, right? They don't even. I wouldn't have minded, at least if you're going to do the thing where like, well, Mia gets Jack, lucky her. At least like another reveal of like, hey, you know how I said my dad threw out the mattress with the book and the ingredients in it?
Yeah,
I actually kept the packet, and Mia and I can fly now, or what? Like, just like Mia gets to fly too, whatever.
Here's how I do it. Before the mattress was thrown out, or like the last scene is Mia in a junkyard, and a pile of ripped up mattresses, and like she's covered in like grime and shit,
asbestos,
and she's got like a fucking Bowie knife, and she's just stabbing through every mattress when like the knife finally clunk hits something, and she's like, "Aw, yeah, motherfucker," and then like AC/DC starts playing as she lifts the book up.
Yeah, Reggie's machine kicks in as she flies off to the camera.
I was gonna say she's done enough Betty Crocker. She knows. You don't need the egg. She just pours the packet right into her mouth. And she gets pure flying powers.
She pours the packet right into her mouth, as like her eyes turn blue and she starts levitating, and then all the trash around her starts levitating.
Oh my god, this is cooler than Chronicle. I love it.
And then it goes, Thunderstruck! And lightning strikes, credits.
Oh my god, what a fucking good ending to that book.
Man, yeah, I can't wait for Goosebumps the movie 3, where they do an Avengers Endgame moment, and we hear "On Your Left" and fucking Jack scoots up with his fucking floating dog.
Jack and Floating Morty show up and just like power punch Slappy in his ultimate form.
Slappy Thanos, I love it.
Guys, I think that's a good way to wrap it up there. Unless any other final thoughts about this book.
No, that book stands on its own. That book stands above and beyond many other Goosebumps books.
It flies above.
I would tell a child to read this book.
Yeah,
I would do it.
Yeah, I'd say that. No other Goosebumps books, just this one.
This one's good for you, kid.
Maybe the Dr. Eek Choose Your Own Adventure.
Okay.
That one's just weird.
Okay, that was pretty bonkers, yeah.
Maybe Monster Blood just did not eat foreign substances just as a don't go underneath the sink and drink anything under there. It's dangerous. There's gross stickers on it.
You can find more about what we recommend to children in our new podcast, Goosebuds Kids. We do swear just as much, but they're gonna learn eventually.
Yeah. It's kind of like if the Wiggles just dropped F-bombs all the time.
You know how kids love to sit and listen to a podcast with like 30-year-old men?
You know how kids have commutes every day?
They gotta get in that plastic red car with the yellow top.
And it's either NPR or this, so what else are they gonna listen to?
They hop in with their friend, and their friend tells them to pass them the aux, and they put on Goosebuds Kids.
They flick a lollipop out the window, and they're like, another day.
Oh, God, this fucking traffic. Close the lane! Close the lane!
Zipper, everybody.
Speaking of new podcasts, Kevin, you got a new one. You wanna give a
I do. I have a new podcast. It's on my Patreon right now. And it's called Heart Cannon. It's a show where I talk to my friends about the stuff they like, having researched the stuff myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really fun for me to learn learn about new movies and learn about what my friends like and really appreciate stuff by having like a really nice conversation. Paul is on the first 2 episodes.
Yep.
And we talk about Stand By Me,
mm-hmm.
the classic film.
Yes.
And the art house Adam Sandler film Punch Drunk Love, which I haven't stopped thinking about for like 2 months.
Wow.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
It's no Big Daddy, but it's pretty good.
Big Daddy is big. Chad, you joke, but Big Daddy's the movie that made Paul Thomas Anderson decide to make that movie with Adam Sandler. I swear to God, I've read it.
I believe that. He saw that and is like, I love how he's talking to the kid who likes eating ketchup. I want to put him in.
Chad, if you haven't watched Punch Drunk Love, it's like really good.
I've heard, it's weird. It's one of those ones where I've always wanted to watch it, and I don't know if I'm just never in the right mindset. But what would you guys recommend? Like, what mental state should I be in to watch Punch Drunk Love? Well,
before we answer that, I do cover that in the podcast, which is available at givekevinmoney.com just for $1.
That's a real URL.
It is a real URL, and Chad, you should really go there and listen to the episode.
Yeah, givekevinmoney.com will redirect you to my Patreon.
I will. I actually listen. I am also a Patreon supporter, so I will listen to that episode.
But just so I don't blue ball everyone, it is a movie about a very awkward person that you are incredibly close to for the entire movie. So, to like watching the movie can be uncomfortable, but it's for a reason and it's worth it.
Okay, yeah, I get into that.
You'll dig it.
Yeah.
I like that. Kevin, what besides your other stuff, besides givekevinmoney.com, is there anything else they should be checking out?
Well, I do a lot through givekevinmoney.com, a real URL that you can visit. I'm about to finish up my year of games. I've made a game every month this year, so I've made 10 games so far. And this month I'm making game number 11, which I don't know. That one will be determined by the suggestions of my Patreon patrons. And we just wrapped up season 3 of Pretend Friends a month or so ago.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
I edit a lovely podcast called Goosebuds. You should check that one out. And my tabletop RPG book, Space Kings, is coming out soon. You can learn more about that at spacekings.space.
Is there any way to, this is a good question to ask, is there any way if you didn't back it when it was having this campaign, is there any way to like chip in now?
There is no way to chip in right now, but spacekings.space will direct you to a Google form where you can submit your email, and you'll get an email when Space Kings is available or when the physical book is available. You get to customize when you get an email. I haven't sent any emails out yet, so I'm not going to spam you. It's just, if you want to know when the thing's out, sign up at spacekings.space and I'll send you an email.
You will have your chance to buy it.
Yeah, and maybe when you're listening to this now in the future, maybe it's out. Go check it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. And
Kevin, thank you.
To be here with us in full reality person, as opposed to listening to our edit levels just going like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, fucking God.
How am I going to make these idiots sound smart this week? Shit.
Okay, how do I put a little air freshener on this?
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you guys for making podcasts that are incredibly easy to edit, because you guys are really funny.
Oh, thanks, man. I love you guys both. I'll see you soon.
Love you guys. You're both my Wilsons. I love you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We want to thank our loving and wonderful patrons. We're opening up the Book of Names, which is really heavy this month because last month it was very filled with dark energy protecting you from demons, from mischievous demons. A Patreon benefit that we don't often advertise, but is absolutely true and real, and you get it. All right, here we go. We'd like to thank Alice Hornbeak,
Stefan Jive Turkey Kuwabara,
Michael McDowell,
Cameron Murphy Audio,
Josh Robertson,
David Cron,
Nick Hinkle,
Mickey C,
Clayton C,
Nathan Dolezal,
Buddy Morrill,
Mike Lanteri,
Mel Dibson,
Alacade,
Jim Greaves,
Not Too Pearl Henderson,
Joshua Lopez,
Jared Mason,
Afshin,
Zankeith,
Aaron T. Strunk,
Danky McStanky,
Brian Wells,
Victor,
Stealth Bates,
Zenticles,
Joseph Miranda,
Becca McWilliams,
Scott Colopy,
Patrick Reynolds,
Third Sergio,
Robert Moon,
John Keaty,
Jason Crooker,
Miguel Pardo,
Clay Castle,
Jonas Splatterman,
Christina Doling,
Matt the Half-Court Warlock Bachelor,
Calf,
Sniggy,
Matthew Plain, Strange, and Horrormobiles. Did you know I'm looking forward to that John Candy Steve Martino up in November? Come on.
Maddie,
Reinfected,
Gregory D. Warren,
Eshak Arafin,
Mikey Jello,
Alan Saylor,
Chosen One,
Sam Hash,
Rich Hilborn,
Cody Redfield,
Aiden Alexander Dice,
Bradford Coulter,
2 in the slink, 1 also in the slink, all 3 in the slink then,
Dylan Vaughn,
Justin Wagman,
Joshua Jacobwitz,
Trans Rights,
Paul Grasso,
Cardboard Walk,
Joe, remember to save early and often, Scott. Thank you again, Joe.
Leviathan,
The John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation,
Low Belly Hate Me,
Taylor Deers,
Rug,
Up and Champ,
Alicia Grape,
Jonas Ingman,
Trent Davis,
Trendy Moron,
Brock Graham,
Moloyster, ugh, spooky,
Anthony Kuwabara,
Carl,
Elusive Koala,
Joe Gorman,
Yanni Markovina,
Blake Alvarez,
Vincent Modica,
Connor Church,
Heath Robinson,
Luke Noodles,
Hugh Bolin,
Space Tiger,
Joe,
Zambambino,
Corey Shelley,
Brooke X,
Christian Vanskever,
Jesus Christ,
Brian Hobgood,
Jeremy Lowe,
Jake Young,
Slumlord Onion,
Valhalla Black,
Jordan Lockwood,
Patreon_donator, yo,
Foolish for Deborah,
Nathan Remick,
Joe Spooky Digital Ghost Tierney,
Tom Witham,
Devaldi,
Reed Stubendike,
John the Howling Eye Duda,
Andrew, fingers crossed for a vaccine by Slinksmith. Slinkmas? Jadzik. Don't even know my own creature that I made up.
Nicholas Johnson.
Joey Evans.
Lord Cornwallis.
Elizabeth Steenweg.
Eric England.
Andrew Evans.
Cardamom Berkambino.
Daddy's Happy Apple Boy. In my mind, that's Chad. That's just Chad. That's who Chad is.
Carewise Gamgee.
Cameron Hansen.
Swag Bumps Nightmare at Camp Yellow Squire.
Straightforward, non-funny name for Dom.
Just Garrett.
Generally depressing.
Goon Cahoots.
Dylan McCann.
Etonomore.
Snesh Chalmers. Yeah, said it the wrong way.
Buff Cat.
Yeah.
Sean Minogue.
Wiggle it.
Glenn.
Dan.
John Pigeon Hat Barber.
Boz Gerritsen.
Chris Pittman.
Chip Handsome. I have read that name before, but it's always great.
R.L. Slink.
Jared Canuti.
Zach Bush.
Jared Nudie.
Matt McKellen.
Stinklich.
Egg Baby.
Dr. Worm.
J.R. Chip.
The Voyant Claire.
Jonas Evan Voldson.
Calamity Carl.
Ben Bohan.
Germ Juice.
Alex Moon, the Robot Dog.
Nick Johnson.
Sarah Kemp.
Osei.
Tanya Turtle.
Chili Dish Gambino.
Stephen Day.
Bad Vibes Jr.
Brett.
Kate and Franklin. Both of them.
Daniel Hirschberger.
Ryan Carroll.
Sadie Kitson.
Jeremy Bowser.
Adam Ya Goofed.
Juan Jalapena.
Megan McCormick Mason.
Muscles Bear.
S.
Ninja Breadman.
Wacky username.
Hoodlemon.
Manuel Aviles.
Keith Alcrow.
Dakota Campion.
Chris, keeper of the Mastosphere. Nelson. I do want to know what the Mastosphere is, but I'm not sure I'm going to be happy when I find out.
Timothy Miselduakis. Please let me know if I'm saying your name right.
Natus. Wait, that's Satan backwards. Oh my god. Hi, Satan. Welcome.
Clay McCarty.
Got little old moi pretty freaked.
Matthew Stevens.
Parker Lee.
Russell Gore.
Jimmy Soul.
Wade Norcross.
The _venomous_ Viper.
Hamboat.
Wunderskin.
Ashley W.
Taylor Shedden.
Raymond Hernandez.
Flemley.
The Crowfens.
Matthew Sutton.
Jordan Slamsey.
Elliot Thompson III.
Comfy System.
Nicholas Butler.
Patrick Murphy.
Jeffrey Owen Cawhey.
Kelly the Barbarian.
Who's Ryan?
Kelsey Kinnaman.
Peanutberg.
Cod Salmon.
Russell Casper.
Xavier Jimenez.
Dr. Chocula.
Brendan Arafin.
Liam Neeson's though.
Chris Putricus. Also, please let me know if we're saying your name right.
Sunset Streak.
John W.
Meet Virginia. MEAT. Virginia. Very important.
Adam G.
Michael Mello.
Adam Muth.
Dungeon Kappa.
Robert Allen Cook III.
The Shrekonomicon.
MC Hamster.
Zach Ware.
Tamjid Munner. Please let us know if you're saying your name right. It's a really cool name.
Ashley Northup.
Mike Spaghetti Jones.
Redemption. Redemption.
Welcome new patron George Michael Wham. Or maybe that's George Michael from Wham. Either way, big fan. Welcome new patron Michael Kupka. Welcome new patron Christopher Dowie.
And I've got some new patrons here, Tobias Clark and Julian LaMendia. I hope the demons didn't get you last month before you were protected by the Book of Names. If they did, please don't be demons hiding under the guise of being new patrons and then demonizing all of us. Please don't do that. That would be mean and very demon-like of you.
We love you all so very much. This season's been a tough one. We really appreciate interacting with you all, seeing you on the Discord, talking to you on Twitter, on the Patreon. Take care of each other, guys. We love you. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. We love you. Bye-bye.